Welcome guys to another video. The CX5 behind me has serious problems. As you can see from the title, the owner attempted to do the timing chain on its own and a few things went wrong. So now let me switch the camera and show you what exactly the problem is, how we will try to fix it, what needs to be changed, what needs to be sorted, or what needs to be rectified. So let me switch the camera and see it for yourself. So we have already removed the valve cover. As you can see, let me try to shine light there. The dots on the camshaft sprockets align. So the sprocket with one dot falls into the sprocket with two dots. That is fine, but let me show you where the problem lies, where the problem is. Now if you have a look, sorry for the camera, the Woodruff key, you see the position of the Woodruff key, and that is supposed to be pointing to 12 o'clock direction. It is out. By looking at it, I would say 15-20 degrees to the left, so that is out. That is out of the timing, hence the piston is not at top, dead center. The two sprockets, so the bottom sprocket, the oil pump sprocket, and the crankshaft sprocket aligned to each other, so that is fine, but the crankshaft sprocket doesn't align with the camshaft. That is the problem. So, and also another thing we noticed, that one bolt is broken for the valve cover, and the camshaft is worn, so the owner fitted it back with the worn camshaft. Anyways, we inspected the cylinders with a camera, which we show you on the video as well, but we found like metal pieces inside the cylinders, although we didn't see any damage to the valves. So now what we are going to do, we're going to correct the timing and we will try to start it up. The owner said after he changed the timing chain, he started it up once and it cut off. That was it. He didn't hear any weird or metal noises, but again, we weren't there, we can't know. We're going to correct the timing and then we're going to start the car and assess the damage, if there is any, or if anything else needs to be changed. We will let him know about the camshaft, obviously, that it will need a replacement, but again, it is up to him. At this point, we are going just to rectify the timing chain issue. So Dan is going to remove the ECU, the brackets, the mount, remove the timing cover, fix that little problem, and then tomorrow we'll hope we can try to start it up. So Dan has just noticed during the disassembly of the timing cover or the timing chain that one bracket is cut in half. I'll ask Dan to move that bracket, and as you can see, there is the cut. We don't know how the owner cut it exactly. I guess with the metal sheet cutting scissor or pliers or something like that. But also I guess because if you can see that little bolt, that bolt is already rounded or stripped, so he couldn't undo it. It is a little bit difficult, but there is no need for cutting the bracket. And the problem is, if it is not held in there properly, it is holding a coolant hose or pipe, and if it is not there properly, it will leak. Ask me how I know. So now I wish Dan good luck removing that stripped bolt. So Dan has removed the timing cover, as you can see. He's proud of himself, he did a good job. Now he's going to correct the timing. He told me he had difficulties, or he was struggling with lots of bolts, because it was most of them weren't tight, and also there are two longer bolts, they weren't in the correct place or position, so that was an issue. Yeah, and some of them were too tight. So now, as I said, he's going to correct the timing, try to correct also a few mistakes what the owner made, and then assemble it back together and leave the sealant to cure, and then start it up and see if it has or had done any damage to the engine. Also, we noticed that the ground wasn't correctly connected, so it may didn't start because of that. If that's the case, the owner was very lucky, because it wasn't running on proper revolutions of the engine, so it didn't make that much damage if it did any, and if it did any. But we will know that only after then corrected the timing and assembled everything back together. So the timing is corrected. Let's have a look at the marks. So the dots down there, they align. You can't see that a lot or too much, but they align. And let me show from underneath. Also, the crankshaft, it is pointing at a bit more than 12 o'clock direction at the moment, because it is slightly turned, but we made that align. So if it is correct, it should point to 12 o'clock direction. And also, as I showed you, those two dots on the crankshaft, they should align. I'll try to do in the future like a DIY tutorial how to do the timing chain, like a step by step. This is not it, this is just basically how we correct it. So once we correct, so the timing cover is fitted now. Once we fit the rest of the parts, we're going to do leak down test just to see or check if the valves are leaking, or if they are bent, or if they suffered any damage, just for us to see it. And then we're going to fit the oil sump, let it cure, let the silicone cure, the sealant to cure, and then start it up possibly tomorrow and do the assessment if it needs any further work or not. The camshaft is worn, we let the owner know that and ask him if he wants a replacement or not. But I'll back once the sump is on and when we are going to do the leak down test.